This is the Sony ECM B10 and the ECM B1M. Both of these microphones give you a ton of options when it comes to capturing clean audio when you're out filming your videos. Now in this video, I'm gonna break down everything you need to know about these two microphones. We're gonna go through all of the settings and all of the features that you have accessible to you when you have these on your camera. Now I did a separate video all around the ECM G1, which is another microphone in Sony's lineup that is perfect for content creators. And I want to say a special thanks to Sony for sponsoring this video and giving me the opportunity to play around with all of these microphones and really get an understanding of how they work. So both the ECM B10 and the B1M are very similar microphones. When you look at them, they're almost identical, except for the B1M is going to be longer and there's more capsules on the top of the microphone. However, all the controls on the back of the microphone are the exact same. Now, these microphones are perfectly suited for content creators in a variety of situations. This would work perfect for a vlogger because of the way that the pickup patterns work. And they'll also work great in a variety of settings if you're doing something like an interview, someone's talking on camera, or if you're just trying to capture some good audio from different locations. Well, these are going to be a good solution because there's a lot of options in these microphones. So let's first look at the design. They're tiny and they're lightweight. Now the B10 is shorter than the B1M. And the advantage of having the shorter microphone is that if you're using a super wide lens, you're not gonna capture the microphone in your shot. With the B1M and a super wide lens, there's a chance that you'll get a little bit of the microphone depending on which camera and lens combo you're working on. Now with the B1M, you have 8 capsules on the top, and the B10 has 4. And the advantage of having these additional capsules gives you a little bit more range with this microphone. So you could pick up audio further away, which is gonna give you just better sound quality depending on the situation that you're in. Now, both of these microphones have an internal shock mount, which is gonna get rid of any handling sounds when you're touching the camera, or if anything happens and bumps the camera. Now, you don't need to use any batteries when you're working with these microphones. When you plug them into your Sony camera, your camera is gonna power the microphone, and you don't even have to worry about turning a mic on. As soon as you plug it in and turn on your camera, your microphone is ready to go. The camera will default to using the microphone for all of your audio settings, and you don't even have to think about powering on a microphone or going into your menus and doing any changes because all of the controls are on the back of the microphone. And also with these microphones, there is no cable. It uses a digital connection that's built right into the hot shoe mount of your Sony camera. Now, when you look on the back of your microphone, you'll see that there's a digital connection or an analog connection. All of Sony's newer cameras will have a digital connection. And so this bypasses the preamps in your camera and is going to give you better sound quality. Now, if you have an older Sony camera, you'll still be able to use this microphone, but you'll have to flip it to the analog setting. And you can find more information about which cameras are compatible with the digital connection on Sony's website. Now, what makes these shotgun microphones stand out and super unique is the beam forming technology that allows you to change the polar pattern of how you're picking up your audio. So when you look at the back of the microphone, you'll see that in the upper right-hand corner, there's 3 different patterns that you can choose from: super directional, unidirectional, and omnidirectional. So let's head outside and let me show you the difference between each one of these patterns. So this is being recorded with super directional. That means you're gonna hear anything in front of camera. It's kind of a wedge shape out from the front. But if I move to the side, I'm now at a 90-degree angle to the camera, you're not gonna hear the sound as clear, because this pattern is more focused on recording audio in front of camera. And if I move all the way to the back of the microphone, you hear how little sound you're actually picking up. Because with this pattern, you shouldn't be hearing anything behind camera. So this works super well for vlogging or if you're doing something like an interview and someone is right in front of camera. Now we're shooting in unidirectional, and you're gonna hear my audio in the front is gonna sound the same because it's still picking up good audio right in front of camera. But as I move towards the right, you'll notice that now I'm off to 90 degrees from the camera and you're still getting clean audio. But if I move to the back of the camera, now the audio is not gonna sound that good. It's barely gonna hear it because this microphone pattern is focused on the front half. So think about 180 degrees in front of camera. So if you're recording like a group of people, like multiple people, and they're not centered right in front of camera, well, this would be a good pattern to use. Now I've switched over to omnidirectional. Now omnidirectional means that every direction. So as I move to the right of the camera, I'm now 90 degrees on the side of it. You're now hearing my audio just the same as you heard it in the front. And if I move to the back of camera, Well, you're also gonna be hearing my audio loud and clear. And so if you're someone who's vlogging and you're pointing the camera away from yourself, this is a great pattern to use to be able to still get clean audio, but you could also be in front of camera and you can still get clean audio. The only thing you have to worry about with this pattern is that you're gonna be picking up more ambience from all around. There is a slight breeze coming at me from the ocean over there, and you're gonna be hearing more of that sound because the audio is focused in 360 versus just right in the front of camera. Now, beyond just the pickup patterns, you have a few different options to modify your audio when you're out recording. So on the lower right-hand corner, you'll have auto and manual settings. So what this does is it goes from full auto, where you don't even have to think about your audio, to manual control, where you can dial in exactly where you want the gain to be when you're out recording. So if you're in a setting where it's run and gun, or you're doing something like vlogging, just flipping it up to the auto setting, you'll be able to get clean audio. But if you do want to have more control and you don't want to risk any fluctuations in your audio, well, you'll flip it down to manual and you'll use the dial on the left-hand side to adjust your levels to where they fit for the scene that you're filming. Now, on the B10 and the B1M, you have some filter options. The first is a low cut filter, and this is gonna remove any low frequencies that's in your sound. Now, the second filter you have access to is noise canceling. So if you're in a super noisy environment, well, the noise canceling is gonna help cut through that noise so that your vocals are gonna be much more clear on the recording. Now, there's one more option on the back of this microphone. It's the ATT mode, and this reduces the volume 10 decibels or 20 decibels. So if you're in a super noisy environment and your audio levels are peaking, well, you can bring the whole recording down by 10 decibels or 20 decibels. So this is a good option to have if you are in those situations where it's super loud. Now, both of these mics come with a windscreen so that when you're out in a windy environment, or if there's even like a slight breeze, you can put on this windscreen and it's gonna clean up your audio so you won't hear any of the that you'll typically hear if like the wind is hitting the microphone, or if you're closer to the mic and your breath is hitting the microphone. I'll pull it off for you right here. So I'm in this canyon, wind is coming up this canyon, hitting that microphone, and you're gonna hear a little bit of that once I take off this windscreen. But as soon as I put it back on, now it's gonna just be super clean. It's amazing how much these little windscreens remove all of that sound of wind hitting the microphone. Now, personally, I've been using the B1M for a long time, and this is my go-to microphone whenever I'm out shooting with my A7S III. Recently, I was just up in Alaska, and I had a few different interviews that I did when I was out in the middle of nowhere, and this microphone was so easy to use because I know I could get clean audio. And so for this setting right here, my subject was just right in front of me a few feet away. I put it in the super directional mode and I put it into manual mode and dialed in the settings so that I could get clean audio of him in this setting where there was some wind and some other sounds in the background. Both of these microphones are gonna work great in a variety of situations, and you'll be able to get clean audio no matter what's going on where you're filming. Now, next you should check out this video right here, which goes through the ECM G1, which is an even smaller microphone from Sony that uses this digital connection, and it gets super clean audio in such a tiny form factor. I'll see you over there.